On March 5th, Hearthstone developer Dean Ixar Ayala teased that a number of nerfed cards, both Wild exclusive cards and cards soon rotating to Wild, would be reverted to their original state. Then, on March 17th, the 5 Wild exclusive reversions went live, and they've turned the Wild meta completely upside down in their wake. The player base is wholeheartedly embracing the changes and putting these new and improved cards to the test. What kind of impact can we expect them to have on the format? Join us as we take a closer look at these unnerfed cards and the powerful decks you can build around them. Before we get started, be sure to subscribe to our Tempo Storm Hearthstone YouTube channel and ring the bell to keep up to date with our Hearthstone content. Now let's begin. The first change we'll go over is a big one. YoggSaron, Hope's End, is now restored to its former glory. Previously, YoggSaron casted a random spell for each other spell you've cast this game, but would stop casting if Yogg left the board or was transformed, which would usually cut the Yogg festivities short. Now, the random spellcasting continues regardless of what happens to Yogg in the midst of chaos. This is a dramatic shift in the power level of the card. Before, Yogg would typically kill himself before having much of an impact, but now your average Yogg will usually clear the board and generate massive value in your favor. We're already seeing players embrace the new Yogg with decks packed with spells, like this cycle-heavy Jade Druid list. After drawing through the entire deck with cheap spells in Gadgetzan Auctioneer, it's easy to play a Yogg that casts 20 spells or more, then play Flabadina's Floop as a second Yogg to do it all over again. This deck might be more fun than competitive, but it's not hard to imagine Yogg finding a place in spell-heavy competitive decks as a final Hail Mary pass to take over the game, which is exactly why Yogg was nerfed to begin with. It's yet to be seen what the best home for Yogg will be, but this old god is much beloved in Wild, and the whole community is looking forward to bowing down before the god of death. The next change we're looking at may be the biggest one from a power level perspective, and is sure to have an impact on the top tiers of the ladder and beyond. Raza the Chained is now unchained, and Raza Priest is now better than ever. In its original form, Raza Priest was a cornerstone of Year of the Mammoth standard, but after Raza's nerf, Highlander Priest decks shifted away from being combo decks towards being late-game control decks built around a dragon or N'Zoth package. Now that Raza grants a zero-cost hero power again, building a combo-oriented Reno Priest around Shadow Reaper Anduin is a viable approach once more. Our featured deck aims to draw the Raza Anduin combo quickly, and it also includes tons of powerful cards that standard Raza Priest never had access to, from Reno Jackson and Emperor Tharazan to Dragon Queen Alexstrasza and Zephrys the Great. Once the combo is online, you can quickly build an OTK by pairing your upgraded hero power with Spawn of Shadows to deliver an unbelievable burst of damage. This buff is a big game changer, so you can expect to see a lot more Raza Priest on the ladder in the coming days. Next up we have Spiteful Summoner, which was the cornerstone of Spiteful Druid and Spiteful Priest during the Year of the Raven standard. Both decks were popular and dominating sites on ladder, but after the nerf of Spiteful from 6 to 7 mana, Spiteful decks all but disappeared, even in Wild. Returning Spiteful Summoner to 6 mana is a big change to the card, but it might not be enough to catch Spiteful Summoner up to the high power level in Wild. Still, there are plenty of powerful, expensive spells that make excellent targets for Spiteful to summon some pretty large minions. It's definitely worth checking out, and this update to classic Spiteful Druid is a fine place to start. New Spiteful Druid has some pretty neat tricks, including Mire Keeper as a direct ramp into Spiteful Summoner, Flabadina's Floop as a nifty way to rebuy your summoners, and Ysera Unleashed at the ready to stock your deck with Dream Portals, which turn your ultimate infestations into a conduit for a massive swarm of dragons. Altogether, Spiteful Summoner might be untested, but it has a lot of potential, so be sure to check it out. Last but not least, Hunter received some serious love with these buffs, with both Call of the Wild and Lesser Emerald Spellstone both being restored to their original costs. Both cards were powerful tools that saw almost universal play in Hunter decks during their heyday in Standard, and both cards dropped off almost completely after their nerfs. Hunter's been languishing in popularity in Wild for a while, but could these buffs be enough to revive the class? Secret Hunters featuring Phase Stalker and Hyena Alpha are interested in Spellstone, and Reno Hunter might be interested in Call of the Wild, but what about a deck that can play both? Classic Spell Hunter is a blast from the past that can put both both cards to good use. In the early game, manage the board with your secrets while you charge up your spellstone, then unleash your wolves onto the board. Later in the game, overwhelm your opponent with beasts from To My Side and Call of the Wild, then use Zul'jin to recast all those spells and swarm the board all over again. Spell Hunter can generate some serious threats and has the potential to take your opponents off guard, so give this one a try if you want to go off the beaten path while climbing the ranks. All in all, this wave of wild unnerfs are some of the most exciting changes to the format we've had in some time, and we're sure to feel their impact in the weeks leading up to the Year of the Phoenix. These aren't the only changes to Wild to expect in the coming days, with a handful of cards that are rotating to Wild that are being changed as well just before the new year. Which cards do you think will have the biggest impact? Let us know in the comments below which changes you're most excited to see, and as always, be sure to subscribe to the Tempo Storm Hearthstone YouTube channel and ring the bell to stay up to date with our Wild Hearthstone content. Thanks for watching!